So, my friends, it appears that our friend, a benevolent leader of Hollywood elites, Jennifer freaking Lawrence, has finally come to the conclusion that, oh no, maybe she was a bit of a bee when she was younger. And now she says she totally gets why people hated her early career personality. Of course, I hate to break it to her, but she's really not that far along where she can start talking about her early career, unless she's talking about when she was a child. And spoiler alert, nobody gave a damn about younger Jennifer Lawrence. It wasn't until she showed herself to be a giant freaking a-hole that people had a problem with her. This is by The Wrap by Jacob Bryant. He writes, Jennifer Lawrence sort of understands the backlash and hate that she got during her early career, and not because of her movies, but her personality. People tend to not dramatically hate actors because of bad acting. They might not care for them. They might not go to see them in movies, but they're not necessarily going to have a disdain for. Now, that has nothing to do with why Jennifer Lawrence was despised and hated. No, it's because Jennifer Lawrence was one of the most entitled and insufferable a-holes that Hollywood has produced in recent times. Although, yes, there have been a few others who have completely blown her out of the water.
Weird.
But still, in recent times, she was right up there with the best of them. And she torpedoed her own career because she showed the world what an absolute chaos nightmare that she was behind the scenes. So her saying now to the world, oh, I get why I was hated for who I was when she was younger, good for her. But that doesn't stop her from being a mindless piece of shit that nobody is going to want to take seriously ever again. She's only saying this because she's on the outs now and she's trying to get back into the good graces to get a little bit of that dopamine hit of stardom again. Now, The Wrap goes on to say that while being profiled by The New Yorker, the Hunger Games star remembered how the public first adored her personality in interviews, but later turned on her after they decided she was being fake. Fake. That's what she's going with? Lawrence explained that while she was who she really was at the time, it was also a defense mechanism. So hyper, so embarrassing. Well, it is, or it was, my genuine personality, but it was also a defense mechanism. And so it was a defense mechanism to just be like, I'm not like that. I poop my pants every day. What an insufferable a-hole. I'm sorry. Remember this?
Especially light and approachable.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just generally, once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude. I turn into a huge asshole.
Look at how he's sitting here uncomfortable. Adam Sandler is famous for being nice to people, even has invited fans back to his house. If you are a content creator, if you are an actor, if you are someone who relies on the public for your fame and fortune and for your success, there needs to be humility that comes with that. Because no matter how big you get, no matter how important you might think you are, fame is a fleeting thing, and it only lasts as long as people find value in you. This is why it's very rare to see people who are in the public eye last for a long time. It happens, right? You get the likes of, say, like in talk radio, you had Rush Limbaugh, beloved for his 30 years he was in there by his fans, and up until the day he died, people couldn't wait to hear him speak. And he had incredible appreciation for people who listened to him. That was part of his secret sauce, why no one could cancel him. It's because his fans would not abandon him for anything. Because they understood that he appreciated them, he loved them, because they changed his life. Well, that's the kind of humility that you need to see. Debbie Reynolds, Carrie Fisher's mother, was the same way. She would make a point that no matter where she was, what she was doing, she would take the time, if fans came up to her, to let them know how important they were to her. Because without them, she was nothing. And she understood this. But you've got this girl talking about how, oh, I'm working. when people asked her for signatures, for autographs.
You get icy?
And that's kind of like my only way of defending myself is just being...
Put the blockade and
just
stare
be an
straight
asshole.
ahead.
Like, see somebody walking towards my table, just go... Or like, can I have a selfie? And I'm like, no.
Piece of shit, right? And it didn't stop there. This freak was sitting out there making herself up to be this big, important person. And, oh, look at me, I'm the first, when of course she wasn't. Like this, which of course blew up all over the internet at the time.
Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told. Girls and boys.
And of course, this was freaking retarded. Not only had it worked, it had been done over and over and over again. Off the top of my head, I could think of Ellen Ripley from Alien. Was Sigourney Weaver, right? Sarah Connor from the Terminator series. Linda Hamilton. There was Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher. You had Kill Bill, Uma Thurman. Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. Alice from Resident Evil. And on and on and on it goes. But oh no, look at me. I'm so important. I'm so too good for these people. But don't worry. She understands now. She says, I look at those interviews and that person is annoying. I get why seeing that person everywhere would be annoying. Ariana Grande's impression of me on SNL was spot on. I think rejected not for my movies, not for my politics, but for me, for my personality. Well, and that, she gets it right. She was a piece of shit. Everyone could see it, and they didn't like it. She was an arrogant a-hole who got too big and thought, I don't need these peons anymore. Look at me, I'm so special. She's not alone in Hollywood, of course. But she was right there up there with so many others. And of course, they want to protect her here by saying, well, at the height of that popularity, poor Jennifer Lawrence was being hounded by paparazzi across Los Angeles. Well, then move the hell out of Los Angeles. If you don't want paparazzi to follow you, then don't live in the heart of paparazziville. Between that and all the press that she was doing for her various projects, poor Jennifer Lawrence, adrenaline kept her up at night because she felt like she was being chased. Oh, woe is me. It's just a lame excuse. If you want space, don't put yourself in the eye of the storm and expect not to get noticed. But no, it's the arrogance. It was the condescension towards people like, I'm busy. Now, the SNL sketch Lawrence mentioned happened in 2016. In it, guest Ariana Grande played a heightened version of her on Celebrity Family Feud and blasted her personality right as the rest of the internet was beginning to turn. Grande said, I'm just like a snackaholic. I mean, I love Pringles. If no one's looking, I'll eat like a whole can. Lawrence will next be seen in Die, My Love, which releases in theaters on November 7th. Okay. The film is produced by Martin Scorsese. The Post, Jennifer Lawrence gets why she was hated for her early career personality. That person is annoying, first appeared on The Wrap. So the bottom line is, oh no, now that her fame and fortune is turned and she's no longer the star, she's trying to get back into the good graces by trying to dupe the people who turned against her by saying, look at me, I'm not that way anymore. I totally learned. No, she's just better at hiding who she is because she realizes that she has lost that grip on mass appeal. And spoiler alert, she's never going to get back to where she was back in the day. Whoever she was when she first started, when they were the nice, innocent young girl, that's long gone. Jennifer Lawrence turned into a power-hungry monster who felt superior to the average person. And she didn't care who knew it. She was disingenuous with people, and they eventually picked up on it and could see right through her. And it didn't help that she also showed herself to be faithless and to be a bit of a liar. Take the Me Too movement that she capitalized on. The Harvey Weinstein nightmare, which, by the way, led to the cataclysmic schism between the two sexes, the men and women, that still reverberates even today, leaving much of the dating world in a dystopian nightmare where it's all about mindless hookups, situationships, and the shameless abuse of men for free food and the bag. And Jennifer Lawrence, well, she was right in the middle of that destructive and ultimately retarded movement. Jennifer Lawrence used Harvey Weinstein for her chance at clout and fame. She was still at that peak at the time. She knew that he was a monster and a predator. There's no way, considering how long Weinstein had been going after women, because I think all the way back in the mid-90s, everybody knew about the casting couch. And yet she allowed herself to be ingratiated upon by Weinstein, but only after the mob came out did she get involved. And it was a chance for her to show her good qualities. You can bet that whatever can of goods she's selling now is nothing more than a desperate attempt at relevance, the likes of what she used to have, and she'll never get again, because she can never be young and innocent and new again, where people can see her for the first time. She's like all the other bitch actors and actresses out there who have been rude, who have been a-holes, and who have shown that they don't give a damn about anyone as soon as they got power. And nobody likes that. So, we'll see. But I don't expect her to ever recapture her former glory.